Hi everyone, this is my latest piece. It's a Red Kite. I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to add the markings. So some of that will be done with pyrography. Some of it will be done with aerosol can paint, which I'll use a paintbrush. I will also add some orange paint to give it a bit more of a red colour, which is what Red Kite essentially, it's one of the main colours of it, hence its name, Red Kite. And this is an interesting piece. It's been quite a difficult bird to do. It's been highly detailed. I've exaggerated some of the relief in the feathers, particularly on the body and the head, because this is actually going to be about 20 foot up a tree stump, or tree top. There's a tree that got struck by lightning, and rather than having something carved into the tree trunk, the client actually wanted to have something that could be taken down if something happened to the tree or they moved. They wanted to keep the piece, which actually is something I agree with, and I've tried in the past. Some clients go along with that as an idea that I make either their sculpture out of the tree that they want to have it carved out of, but I actually cut it off and then I pin it back on later on. And the good thing about that is you can then seal the tree and treat it properly to preserve it, rather than the rock coming up through from underneath in the root system and gradually rotting the sculpture, which you spent ages, or it depends on how detailed it is. Obviously, it might have taken you a day, or this has taken me a couple of weeks. There are many reasons for that, which I'll get to. So basically, it has to be disassembled because there is no way of using machinery to pin this onto the top of the tree trunk. I've built a makeshift, actually screwed it to the tree trunk. It's got its own scaffolding because the ground was so uneven. There's a stream, there's a pond right next to it. It was very difficult. So with the aid of a ladder and a harness, I've cobbled together this framework. And I've also had to do some work on the tree trunk itself to preserve it, because there was a fork and there was a lot of bark in that fork. There's some aerial roots and other leaf mold and things like that. So it wasn't completely rotting out, but it needed cleaning out and preserving. So I removed all the debris and then I filled it up with expanding foam and have a layer of silicone over the top of it before I pin this steel plate, which is an unusual shape, and that's to span over the whole tree trunk because there's lots of splits in there, and I don't want one part of the tree taking all the weight of this sculpture. It's very well balanced now, but even so, the wind is going to blow it around. So this is pinned onto the body, and same with the other wing as well. And there is actually a long hole which runs right through the body for this wing, and the same for this one. And there's a plug in there, you can't actually see it, which will cover where this very long coach screw is going to be holding this together. Ordinarily, if I was pinning something, I would glue it, but that's not the brief for this sculpture. It has to be disassembled. It should be easily disassembled. So that slots on there, and then it's screwed on. Just put it back on. Now, the feet, there is actually a 20mm steel rod which runs up about 8 inches into the body. There's also a hole which runs through the leg here and straight through the rod. This is basically what I used, this 20mm threaded rod, runs straight through it, and then it can be held in place with a screw, a normal wood screw. And it's the same on the other leg as well, so it's all pinned and held solid. This is coach screw to the top of the oak tree, which, you know, be durable for ages, to be honest. The oak tree itself is probably 4 or 5 foot at the base. There's not much sapwood on it. I don't see it going anywhere for about 30 years. But there we go. But should the clients want to move, then they get to keep this red kite, which they've named Kevin. I don't think it's the best name for a red kite, but there you go. So anyway, I'm going to start work, and I'll shut the hell up, and I'll speed up the photography. Bye-bye. Just installing this red kite, excuse my croaky voice. So it's steel plate which is bolted to the top of the oak tree, which you can't see from the ground, so you get a lovely view as you come in the driveway, and a lovely view from the patio, and a great view of underneath the wings from directly down below. So I'm just about to pull the last wing up, and then you see how I attach it. There's 2 metal rods, and there's a coach screw which comes up through the other side. I've already put this one in, and the coach screw runs through here. Just make out that hole, and there's and I've just covered the hole rather, and we've got the same around the other side. So I've constructed this platform to aid me. It's actually oak, and it's coach screwed on onto this dead oak trunk. And you can see the bird's feet. And I've got to go, and there's a coach screw which runs up through this side, all the way through the bird, and then we'll pin it in. The reason why I've done this and not glued it is so that on the off chance, should the clients move or this becomes rotten, the tree trunk becomes rotten. I mean, there's a hole here anyway, and I've decided to leave it uncovered so that when the weather's good, it can dry out. I've tried filling it, and water still finds its way in, unfortunately. So yeah, it's a very interesting one. So I've just got to go and pull this wing up, and then that's the last piece done. So I've just slotted the last wing in. I'm going to bring the wrap gun, just wind that long coach screw in. That will snug him up tight. So we're just going to go and pop this in. Make sure we get it the right way around. I don't think it. There we go. There you go. I just tap that in, take that screw out, and that's how you would get it out as well in the future. You would then you put that screw back in, and then use a claw hammer with a piece of wood
against the sculpture, and you gently pull it out, and then you've got access back to that coach screw to disassemble the bird.